Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Wiedenhop, and this webinar will give a quick overview of how to submit a new program document. This webinar was recorded in January 2019, and we make small changes from time to time, so while the real pages you work with may be a little different than what I show here, the general process should be the same or very similar. We will do new webinars whenever there are substantive changes. Now, if you are a currently certified school, you will log into the EDvera system and go to the Documents tab. If you can just go to our website at dhe.mo.gov/PSC, and either a new school or currently certified school takes you to the same page. But it gives information as well as a user manual for each school and a link to the EDvera login page. We also have webinars on each of the documents that schools will be using. So as I said, then certified schools log into the EDvera system, and if you're a new school seeking initial certification, you will access the new program document in Section 3 of the initial application. So we're logged in. We'll go to our dashboard here. Sorry, that was another webinar. You go to Documents, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the Start button, Start Document button. Find it and click on New Program Application. Open that. So when you open the document, the first thing you'll enter is the name of the program. So we will call this Truck Driver Training. And you'll click Continue. Next, you'll have to assign the program an award level. In Missouri, all non-degree programs are considered certificates. So these are your options. It's either less than a year or a year or more. So you will select the appropriate award level. And then under Outcome Award, it's how the award is designated by the school. So for example, if this was an associate degree, the program award level may be an Associate of Science, an Associate of Occupational Studies, whatever the school designates its outcome award. But this is just going to be a certificate, and so our outcome award will be certificate. So just under the outcome award, the school will enter the CIP code of the program. Now, the classification of instructional program codes may be found on the NCES website, or EDvera does something pretty cool, which is if you just start typing the name of the program, so for instance, we'll hit truck, and it will give suggested CIP codes. So here's a commercial vehicle operator, so we will click on that. Just pick the one that best fits the school's program outcomes and objectives. On the right side of the screen, you'll see enrollment projections for the first year of operation or the first year of offering this program for current schools. You want to enter the number of students you estimate will enroll in this program during the first year. You do have to submit a number greater than 0, or the system will give an error whenever you try to submit. So we've entered this, so let's scroll to the bottom real quick and save everything before we continue. Now, this next section talks about program hours. You'll first need to designate the type of hours in the program. Are they clock hours? Are they semester credit hours? Are they something else? Just keep in mind that credit hours are typically used by accredited institutions, while clock hours are more often found with unaccredited schools or with shorter duration programs. So if you're unaccredited and you want to offer credit hours, that's fine. Just do your research and make sure you include a generally accepted formula for converting between clock and credit hours, because students will need that as well as any schools the students transfer to later. So next, we'll enter the total number of hours in the program. So we're going to pick clock hours because of the type of training that we're doing. And we'll say 200 hours. And the length in weeks, it has to be at least one. Now, if you offer programs shorter than 1 week, and, we do have some that offer 1, 2, 3 days of training. Enter that as 1 week because that's how we will identify it for data purposes in our program inventory. That way, it also provides a little bit more consistent data for student review. So we've entered this information. Scroll to the bottom, click Save. In item 1, enter the school's admissions requirements. You can also, rather than retyping everything, just go to your catalog and excise the admissions requirements from your catalog and then just attach it right here. If you only have 2 things, like maybe they need to have a drug screen and have to be have completed high school or have a high school equivalency, you can just enter that in the text box. Whatever works for you. Item 2 asks for the general percentages of each teaching methodology used to provide instruction. So for example, if a program is 50% lecture, 25% lab, and 25% externship, then you'll enter those in there. So I'm going to do this real quick. Yeah. So here it comes up with 105. EDvera won't let us save. Let's see here. It'll let you save, but it won't let you submit because this can only equal 100%. And I'm going to leave that for now, but then I'll show you when I attempt to submit it. Now, one important thing, here you see independent study and supervised research. These are specialized methodologies to provide instruction that is substantially similar to that offered in a classroom. There will be syllabi, there will be scheduled meetings between the students and the instructors. It will have specific evaluation criteria. Think of these as like doctoral studies, where you have meetings with your mentor periodically to review your chapters and to provide guidance. Or you are in a lab and you are researching an official question or something. So they are not homework or classwork. So just because you expect students to study an additional 20 hours in order to complete the program, you can't include those 20 hours here. Okay, so item 3 is asking for the school's evaluation structure. So for example, do you offer letter grades that have percentages attached to them, like 90% and above is an A, 80 to 90%, 80 to 89% is a B, so on and so forth? Or do you grade on a pass-fail basis? And if you do grade pass-fail, what is the minimum percentage to identify passing? That they have 10 functions that they have to complete. Do they have to get they have to pass each function in order to graduate, or can they miss one? If you can miss one, then your pass rate is 90%. So I'm happy to help you figure that out if you need assistance, but that's the general thing that we're looking for in a pass-fail system. Rather than typing all that stuff out, though, you can also just upload that page or pages of your catalog. Item 4, ask the school to list the graduation requirements. Typically, this will be a combination of grades and attendance. For example, a student must attend a minimum of 90% of all program hours and must maintain a cumulative average of at least 80% of all courses in order to graduate, whatever it is for your school. And again, rather than typing all that out, you can just upload that page of the school's catalog that contains the required information disclosure. Now, one thing, if a student does meet your graduation requirements, give them their certificate or diploma, even if they still owe money to the school, because they have done what you've asked them to do. You may, however, withhold the official transcript until the student satisfies their financial obligation to the school. So item 5 is asking about study equivalency. What this section is asking is, will your school award credit to students who have previous education or experience? So here on this program, we've said they've had to complete 200 contact hours. Well, maybe they had completed 20 contact hours at another certified school, and they want to transfer those hours over here. Are you going to let them? We are kind of hands off on that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. You would just need to specify here what percentage. So you say maybe 20 hours. Yeah, I'm sorry, these are hours, not percentages. And that's all that you would allow in. Work experience. I know sometimes our CDL schools will grant some credit towards people who worked in the military and they worked on the big transport trucks. So maybe you'll give 10 hours or something there. Now in your catalog, you will have to spell all this out and specify what documentation the applicant has to provide in order to receive this credit. And additionally, this is important, undergraduate schools and certificate granting schools, you are required to provide at least 25% of all instruction in order for the student to graduate from your school. And graduate schools have to offer at least 75% of all instruction. So once you've entered that, we want to go to the bottom and save. This last section is where you will enter your tuition and fees. Oh, it's not the last section. Oh, well. Tuition, fees, books, and supplies in each of their respective line items. This information has to be consistent with what you publish in the catalog and the enrollment agreement. And in this text box, you will need to identify each individual fee. Scroll to the bottom, save. Next, under attachments, here you will upload the list of all the courses, units, or modules in the program along with their description. And you can attach a detailed syllabus or course outline for each of those courses, units, or modules of instruction. This last item, locations at which program is offered, just ignore that because that is being worked on by Cyanna. You'll click Save and you'll click Submit. And here is where EDvera is saying, you have to be only 100%. So we'll go back up, and we knew this 5 hours was incorrect. We're at 100, so let's try again and submit. And we're good. Okay, so now this document will be placed in a pending payment status. If you are a new school seeking initial certification, you don't have to pay anything extra. Department staff will move that document to the pending approval state and begin the review along with the initial application. Now, if you are a currently certified school, you'll be notified at this time to submit payment of the appropriate fee based on the type of program requested. Certificate programs, including grad certificates and post-baccalaureates, those are $100 each. Associate degrees are $200, and bachelor's and graduate degrees are $500 each. Once payment is received, department staff will move the document to the pending approval state, and we will begin the review. So a little note on payment. Please do something to indicate the reason for payment. Sometimes we just get random checks in, and all by their lonesomes, and there's no other paperwork involved. Sometimes it's a school name, sometimes it is like the corporate ownership of a school, and we don't recognize it. And we'll just send them back because we don't know what they're for. So this delays things for the school, and it takes up our time as we have to try to figure out, why are we receiving this check? It is especially challenging during recertification, when some schools are submitting recert fees and other schools are sending in money for program reviews. It gets really confusing at that time unless we know exactly what this check is for. So do something, do anything. Print out the new program document or something to include with the check. So ends my rant on behalf of Leslie, who has the task of figuring out which checks go with which reviews. Now, if there are any issues with the program, either Jerron Vale or I will contact you. Jerron works on programs for currently certified schools, and I work on programs for new schools. We will typically use the comments section here to let you know what the issue is, and we will revert the document so you can make any needed changes. So thank you so much for reviewing our web short on how to complete a new program document. If you have any questions, please contact the help desk in EDvera via the blue support button, and good luck. Bye.